Well, happy Friday to everybody. Hope you are doing well. We are at the final game. Well, not the final game, actually. Next to last game on June the 17th between Seattle and Chicago. On June the 18th, on Thursday, there were only 4 games. So I'm going to take one of the 2 games I haven't played yet from June 17th and carry it over to Monday. So 5 games scheduled for next week. But today, it's Chicago White Sox, Seattle Mariners. Not the sexiest matchup in the world, but hello, it's on the schedule, so we play it. Starting pitchers for today's game: Bill Long for the White Sox against Scott Bankhead for the Seattle Mariners. White Sox come to the game 29-32. They were contending against Oakland, but they've been in a tailspin lately. Seattle has won the first 2 games. They're going for the sweep in the series. Seattle actually has won a couple of games in a row. They're now 28-36. So if we look at the Kingdom, which obviously is favorable for home runs for hitters, it's 1-17 on both sides of the plate. Singles only 1-5. This is game number 441 on the replay. Hello, Ben. Good to see you. Hope you're having a great Friday. It's always good to be off. 100% sure on that one. Bankhead, let's go to the Strat computer so I can get his replay numbers to go along with his actual numbers. Actual numbers: he was 9-8 with a 5.42 ERA. In the replay, he's 3-4 with a 4.89 ERA, so he's doing a little bit better. He has a wild pitch of 3, a balk of 5, and he's got a +1 aggregate hold. He is a -1, but Scott Bradley's a +2 for a +1. Bill Long, excellent at holding runners. Bill Long is -3, and then you got the Karkovice -2, makes it a -5. So that might deter some of the Seattle potential base stealers. As far as I can remember, this is the first game where Harold Reynolds is not starting. Ray Quinones has actually come back to the team off injury. He will be at short, and they will move Ramos, who had been playing short, over to second base, and they will give Mr. Harold Reynolds the game off. He is on the bench, of course, able to substitute and whatever else he needs to do, but I guess Dick Williams finally figured he deserved a day off. All right. Daryl Boston is going to step in for the White Sox. Boston hitting .278 on the replay, 7 homers, 18 driven in. He hit .258 real world. And of course, before the first pitch, we have the ceremonial first sip. I don't know if it's showing up on the stream or not, but the steam, I can see the steam coming off the coffee cup here. I actually threw it in the microwave for an extra 30 seconds before I came up here just to get it extra hot so that it will stay warmer longer, hopefully. So that was the ceremonial first sip, and that is some good coffee. All right. Let's get this ball rolling. Bankhead, 2-6 to Boston, and that is a strikeout. So right off the bat, Bankhead puts the K on Daryl Boston. 1 away. And let me check something real quick on this side of the house. I think the lighting looks pretty decent, so I don't want to bump it up too much because it could be too bright. So we'll leave it as is, I guess. All right, here's Gary Redus. Redus playing left field for the White Sox in this one. He's hitting .245 on the replay, 4 homers, 13 driven in. He hit .236 real world. 2-8, and that's going to be a ground ball to short. 2 quick outs for Scott Bankhead. And that'll take us to the number 3 hitter, designated hitter Harold Baines. Baines hitting .265 on the replay, a homer and 19 driven in. .293 real world. He's been underperforming in the power aspect. He had 20 home runs in 1987 in 505 at bats. I think it was 505. Yeah, 505 at bats. He had 20 home runs. In the replay, in 147 at bats, he has exactly 1 home run. So he's definitely needs to pick that pace up if he's going to try to match his numbers. Bankhead 5-8, and that's another strikeout. So Bankhead says you can get your number somewhere else. And the White Sox go very quickly. And as one famous announcer once said, he can grab some bench. So we go to the bottom of the first. It's White Sox nothing. Seattle coming to bat. And on the mound for the White Sox is right-hander Bill Long. He split time between starting and relieving. On the real season, he was 8-8 with a 4.37 ERA and a save. On the replay, he has been not quite as well. He's 0-6, but his ERA is better. His ERA is 4.13, so obviously lack of run support has hurt him. 52 innings pitched, 50 hits, 15 walks, 26 strikeouts. So Bill Long going to try to get his first win of the season. And leading off for the Mariners will be Mickey Brantley. Brantley hitting .268 on the replay, 5 homers, 8 driven in. He hit .302 real world. 6-7, and that is a ground ball shortstop X, first X chance of the game. And it belongs to the new shortstop, Ray Quinones, just coming back from injury. So they're going to test him out right away. 3E31. 3-12 should be okay. 3-12 is a G2. That's a 6, and he's an E31. It's short. E31, there's a 6 right there, so Quinones was not ready for prime time as he boots it. Hello, Dr. D. Good to see you. So if we get a closer look here at E31 shortstop, if I can get it up a little closer here. E31 shortstop, you see the second number in that middle column is a 6, and that's exactly what we got here. So he will boot it. And actually, that's Guillen. Why am I looking at, I got it backwards here. I'm messing up already. It's a 2E21 for Guillen. What am I doing? 21 and a 6 for Guillen. And he still, so even Guillen makes the error. 6 must be a magically bad number because even on the E21 for Guillen, 6 is an error. So it's, I was in error. Pardon the pun. I was in error, but I turned out not to be an error because Guillen also made the error. Wow. That is just, that's crazy. So Brantley reaches on the one base error by Ozzie Guillen. And now, even though he's got a -5, he's still thinking about possibly getting a steal attempt. Needs a 2 through 5 to get the lead. He does not, so he will hold. And here comes Phil Bradley, the left fielder, another one of those underperformers in the replay, much like Joe Carter. He's hitting only .225 on the replay, 8 homers, 25 driven in. He hit .297 real world. That's a 5-10. That's a fly ball center field X. Center fielder is Daryl Boston. He is a 3 with an E4. We'll get our center field chart out, or outfield chart out. 3-17, that's good all day long. The 15, and he is an E4. E4, there's a 16 there, but no 15. So good play for Daryl Boston. Yoko, I do love these charts. If anybody wants a copy of these charts, I'd be more than happy to send you the PDF file. Just send me an email, and I will get those to you. That's for anybody here now or anybody listening later. And let me see if I got a piece of paper here I can use somewhere or another. Let's see what we got here. Bad when you can't find just a standard piece of paper. Here we go. All right, so that is my email address. I know my handwriting is awful, but I can decipher it for you. It's D as in dog, A as in apple, V as in Victor, I as in India, D as in dog, A as in apple. The number's 5205 at AOL.com. And yes, I'd still use AOL.com. No haters. If you send an email to that, I will send you the PDF files that I obtained from ID Jester a little while ago. And they turn out quite well. I had to, since my printer will not print cardstock two-sided, I did have to print 2 separate pieces of cardstock for the second side of the chart, and I just stapled them together. But if you have a decent printer, you can probably get away with that. I haven't really looked all that much, Dr. D. Of course, we're only in June, so I feel like I'm getting a decent amount of attempts. I don't think it's undercut too much, but like it's still relatively early. Not even a third of the way through this, I don't think, or approaching the 1/3 mark somewhere or another. But anyway, so if you want a copy of that, just shoot me an email to that address and just say, please send me a copy of the Strat-O-Matic X charts, and I will shoot that over to you so that you'll have them yourself. All right, it sure beats the heck out of trying to mess with those other super advanced charts. That is for sure. All right, so Scott Bradley flew out to center field, so that's 2 away. And I'm sorry, that was Phil Bradley. I get the Bradleys mixed up. Scott Bradley's your batter now. Scott Bradley hit 261 on the replay. Oh, no homers, 23 driven in. He hit 278 real world. That's a 210, and Bradley is a ground ball to second. And that's actually with only 1 out. That will be a Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play. The 210 is a ground ball second base A. That is a 4-6-3 double play. Tailor-made double play. The tailor-made double play of the game is sponsored by Giovanni's Tailor Shop in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. If you're out in that area, be sure to stop by. Tell them Demo sent you. They are the unofficial sponsor of this channel, but they are the official sponsor of the Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play of the game. And 4-6-3, it doesn't get too much more tailor-made than that. So nothing doing there for the Mariners. Hello, Jason. And now, White Sox will come back out to start the top of the second. Like I said, it's not a stellar matchup, but it's on the schedule, so we play it. And a lot of times, some of your better games can come with mediocre teams. So, and I don't know how many people out there follow college basketball or the March Madness tournament or whatever, but obviously, I am a little bit giddy today since I am a graduate of VCU, and they had the historic comeback, 19-point comeback against North Carolina last night. Still buzzing over that. Combination of North Carolina crapping the bed and VCU making some plays. Yes, Ben, they were down by 19, but what happened was, from what I could see and what I've heard, Hubert Davis decided to stick basically with the same 5 guys for North Carolina. Didn't use any bench players. So a lot of their players played over 40 minutes when you count the overtime, whereas VCU rotates 8-9 guys. So they were fresh, and you could see Carolina they were gassed. I don't care what Carolina says. They can say all they want. They were gassed. If you look at that free throw by the big guy at the end of the game with 3 seconds left, he had 2 free throws that could have tied the game. His first one was plunked. It was a brick. I mean, it was the biggest brick I've ever seen, and it came up short. And usually when you're tired, your free throws and your shots come up short. So now I'm in no illusion. I mean, I think VCU just shot their load. They had their moment, their one shiny moment, like they say in the NCAA. So I fully expect Illinois to dispatch them tomorrow. I have no illusions about them beating Illinois. This is not 2011 Shaka Smart. This is a one and done. They got their one win. They should be happy about it, and then build for next year. All right, here is Walker. Walker's hitting 208, 4 homers, 23 driven in. He hit 256 real world. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think so. 1-7, and that's a base on balls. Of course, we'll come back and watch this, Sunday after the game's over with, and VCU actually wins the game, then this won't age well, but that's all right. I mean, I want to see him win, but I'm also a realist. All right, so Walker, no threat to run. Here's Ivan Calderon. Calderon hitting 284, 7 homers, 21 driven in. He had 253 real world. 293 real world. Not bad. You got that right, Ben. Like I said, that was like their Super Bowl right there. Kind of hard to follow that one up. I think emotionally they're just drained. Physically and emotionally, I think they're drained. 5-9 is a strikeout for Bankhead, his third. and Illinois had a very easy time with Penn. So I just don't see it. I mean, I expect them to come out very flat tomorrow, and it wouldn't surprise me if Illinois beat them by 15 to 20 points. Actually, I think if Illinois gets up by 19, they're not choking that the way Carolina did. All right, here is, it's a 1, so Bankhead, his wild pitch rating is a 3. And there's no wild pitch, so Donnie Hill, he had been out for a while, but he's back. He will step to the plate. Hill hitting 202, 2 homers, 14 driven in. He hit 239 real world. 311, and that's a ballpark single check. That's only a 1 to 5, though. That's 6. So that will be a line out to second base for out number 2. And I don't know that much about the culture of the state of North Carolina and their basketball. From what I understand, though, that North Carolina, Duke, and NC State really don't like each other. So I know the Dukies, of course, are very happy about letting Carolina know about that. All right, here is Ozzie Guillen. Guillen hitting 269, a homer, 24 driven in at 279 real world. 3-5, and that is a ground ball to second. That will end the inning. One thing for sure is, though, that before yesterday, I knew who Terrence Hill Jr. was, but now the whole country knows who Terrence Hill Jr. is. And he just did Terrence Hill stuff. I mean, he did like Seth Curry type stuff. Not a surprise at all. Saw him do it all year long. And the weird part is he comes off the bench. That's just insane. It's just a little thing they've got going. So anyway, back to baseball. Here's Ken Phelps. He's hitting 236, 12 homers, 34 driven in. He hit 259 real world. If we watch this in, I didn't come here to talk about basketball. 6-8. 1 to 10 is a double. So a double for Ken Phelps to start things off. Seattle now has a good scoring opportunity. And here comes the hound dog, Jim Presley. Presley hitting 222 on the replay, 13 homers, 45 driven in. He hit 247 in the actual season. 1-9, and that's going to be a fly ball to center field, 1 away. Ken Phelps, a statue out there, is definitely not going anywhere. Here's Alvin Davis, first baseman. Davis hitting 288 on the replay, 13 homers, 39 driven in. He hit 295 real world. 1-3, and that's a pop up to first base. So Seattle not taking advantage so far of the leadoff double. 2 quick outs, and Phelps is still sitting at second base, and it's up to Mike Kingery in a clutch situation. Kingery will gain a hit on 111. That's it. Everything else he is neutral on. Kingery hitting 248 on the replay, 5 homers, 17 driven in. He hit 280 real world. That's a 5-7, and that's a single to right field. But, man, until you try to score Phelps, who only runs at a 9, and Calderon's a -1 arm on top of it. Okay, let's get the calculations here. He's a 9. Not being held, he makes him a 10. 2 outs makes him a 12. -1 makes him an 11. Still a 55% chance, and that's a higher chance than Ramos has of getting on base. So they're going to send him. It's a 1, and Kingery would take second on the throw. But it's a 1 to 10. I'm sorry, a 1 to 11. 1 to 11, because again, 9 not being held makes him a 10. 2 outs makes him a 12, and the -1 makes him 11. So 1 to 11. And he's in there. How about that? He scores. Ken Phelps hustling all the way. And going to second base on the throw is Kingery. So RBI single for Kingery. And he comes through in the clutch, bringing home the Mariners' first run. Yeah, Jason, and then for whatever reason, I can't believe a basketball player at that level does not know the rule that the free throw has to hit the rim. You can't just bounce it off the backboard like that when you're trying to intentionally miss. You have to hit iron somewhere, or it's a dead ball turnover. I frankly think Hubert Davis just got outcoached. I just think he got outcoached. Here's Ramos. That's a 2, balk or pass ball. That's going to be a pass ball chance on Karkovice, which is a 4. No pass ball. So Ramos hitting 308 on the replay, a homer, 8 driven in. He hit 311 real world. 1-5, and that's a home run. 1-3. That's a 13. It'll be a double, and that will score Kingery. And the Mariners cash in for only the 1 run, but now they get a second run. It's 2-0 Seattle. RBI double for Ramos. Another clutch situation for Ray Quinones. He's back after a long injury. He's hitting 232 on the replay, 3 homers, 21 driven in. He hit 276 real world. He did, Ben. If you go back and watch the highlights, he most certainly did. I mean, it was just it looked like, I don't even know, it just didn't look, I mean, it didn't look like he took his time. And, you know, I've tried to miss free throws before on purpose, just for the heck of it. And there's a certain thing you got to do with it. But he just took it, basically just mashed it against the backboard, not hitting anything. It was just terrible. Terrible execution for sure. 5-5 pops it up to short. But 2 runs come in for Seattle. I guess with the NCAA tournament going on, I guess, you know, having a little bit of basketball talk isn't all that bad. Especially when you got these 2 teams playing. It's not like they're juggernauts playing each other for first place. We're just playing ball and chatting. How about that? All right, so pop up to short. 2-0 Seattle. And that brings up Tim Hewlett. He will lead off for the White Sox. He's hitting 223 on the replay. 4 homers, 19 driven in. He hit 217 real world. 2-9, and that's going to be a single, 1-19. So Tim Hewlett with the base hit. Hewlett not really a threat to run. He will hold. Here's Karkovice. Karkovice hitting 134 on the replay, a homer and 4 driven in, but he only hit 071 real world. He's not even that good of a bunter, so we're just going to have him swing away. Four, 5, and that is a split chance. 1-2 is a single. That'll be a line out to short. And I know there's, you know, probably a certain sect of individuals. I don't want to be sexist and say just women, but I mean just probably a, you know, a large majority, but still some men probably watch this too. But the soap operas on CBS are being preempted because of basketball this week. I'm sure people are upset about that. I don't know if they're doing them on demand or they're just doing a delay or what they're doing. But I don't watch them, so it doesn't matter to me. But I know some people like them. All right, here is Daryl Boston. 1-8, and that's a 1-2 triple, but that's going to be a fly ball to right field for out number 2. Bankhead trying to keep the White Sox from having any life. Here's Reedus. 1-2, and that's a split chance, 1-18, and that is an 18, so a base hit, 1 star only. Puts runners at first and second, and now we got a clutch situation for Mr. Harold Baines, and he gained some hits in the clutch, 1-7 and 1-11. He will gain hits also 3-10 and 3-4 and 2-3. So he gets 5 extra hits in the clutch. Where's RJL when you need him to give us a Harold Baines documentary? 5-7, though. It's going to come off the Bankhead. It's a ground ball, second base X. That's Ramos, 4E27. Not nearly as good defensively as Harold Reynolds. And a 4 and a 3, that's trouble. That's almost certainly going to be a base hit and scoring a run. 4 and a 3 is an SI2, so it's a 2-base advancement. That's an 8, and he is an E27 at second base. There is no 8 there, but it is going to be a single 2 stars. So Hewlett will score for the White Sox. Going to third is Reedus. And Harold Baines comes through with an RBI single. Cuts the lead to 2-1. That'll bring up Greg Walker. Also a clutch at bat for Walker. He gains a hit on 1-5. 5-9 is a split chance, and a 2-20 is a line out to second base to end the inning. But the White Sox get on the board on the RBI single from Harold Baines, cuts the lead to 2-1. All right, we go to the bottom of the third. At least the White Sox showed a little bit of life there. For the Mariners, it will be the top of the order: Mickey Brantley, Phil Bradley, and Scott Bradley. Brantley, Bradley, and Bradley. Sounds like a bad law firm. 4-12, and that's going to be a base on balls. Leadoff walk to Brantley, and he's got a chance to get a steal, or at least get the lead anyway. Needs a 2 through 5 to get that lead. And he gets the lead with the 5. He's going to go 17 being held to 15, minus 5 to 10. 1 to 10, he's in there. And he got caught stealing. Brantley out of there on stolen base chance. Let me get the numbers on Brantley on his steals and attempts in real world versus replay. And let's see what he's got here. He stole 13 bases, got caught 4 times. In the replay, he's stolen 2 bases. This is his first time being caught. So if you never try it, when the odds aren't, you can't wait till the odds are 1 to 17 to steal. If you're going to recreate the caught stealings, you've got to, I think you really need, if you want to be true to the game, I think you need to attempt those things. All right. Hey, Ben, I saw some stuff about the Price is Right. Was there some kind of, I don't know if it was, it's on Facebook, I think. So, if something's on Facebook, obviously it has to be true, right? But I don't know if it is or not, but I heard some rumors about one of the Price is Right models or whatever saying something about there was some sexual harassment going on back in the day with Bob Barker or whatever. I have no idea. Don't really care, but I just heard that since you brought up the Price is Right. The favorite thing Bob Barker ever did was when he punched out what's his face on that movie, Adam Sandler. When he punched him out in that movie about the golfer. All right, here is Phil Bradley. 4-11, and that is a ballpark single check. 16 way too high. He will fly to right field. 2 down. Diane Parkinson. Okay, it was Diane that did it. Happy Gilmore. Thank you. I think they aren't they remaking or making a second Happy Gilmore? I thought they were. I don't know. I thought I heard something about that. Diane. Okay, I remember Diane. All right, here is Scott. So they've already made the movie? Is that what you're saying? Is it already? I don't watch modern movies anymore at the theater. I haven't been to the theater in ages. There's nothing out there I want to see. 1-5 is a ground ball to second. And it seems like they run out of ideas to make movies because everything seems to be a reboot. That's Hollywood for you. All right, so Bradley grounds to second, and that's going to end the inning. So we'll go to the 4th inning. It's still a 2-1 ball game in favor of Seattle. Hey, Clay, how do we ruin your morning? Talking about the Price is Right, or yeah, with AI, it's hard to tell what's real and what's not anymore. If I don't see it live in the flesh, I question it. All right, that'll bring up Ivan Calderon to start the top of the 4th. 5-9, and that's a strikeout for Bankhead. Nothing to question there. That is his 4th strikeout. Second time he's gotten Calderon. 1 away, and that brings up Donnie Hill. 4-9, and that is a fly to center. 2 down. The only thing I can think of that would be good about a second Happy Gilmore is getting to see the blonde lady from Modern Family, because she's obviously easy on the eyes. All right, here's Ozzie again. 3-2, That's a line out to third, and that's going to end the inning. Inning is over. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Still a 2-1 ball game. Bill Long again suffering from lack of run support. That's why he's 0-6, but his ERA is better than Real World was because he's team's not scoring him many runs. All right, so bottom of the fourth, it's going to be Ken Phelps. He doubled and scored his first time up. 5-8, and that is a line out to first base, right to Walker rather. One away. That'll send up the Hound Dog Jim Presley. Three, 5, and that's going to be a fly to left field. 2 down. Some would say that if I have any intelligence, it's artificially done, so I can understand that, Ernest. Here's Alvin Davis, 6-7. Ground ball, second base, X. That's going to be Donnie Hill, 4-11. 4-11, up to 4 and a 3. That's going to get through for a base hit. That's a 9 and an E11. There is no 9 there, but it is going to be a single, 2-out single for Alvin Davis. So he sneaks it on the AstroTurf right past Donnie Hill. And I'm one of the few people who misses AstroTurf. I just think it's something novelty now about the sliding pits and everything like that. I really do miss that. I almost wish they did like the White Sox did back in the 70s, have the infield AstroTurf and the outfield grass. That would be kind of neat. All right, here's Kingery with Davis at first and 2 outs. 3-3, and that's a pop up to third. That'll end the inning. So we go to the fifth. It's still 2-1 Seattle. And again, Bill Long suffering the woes of lack of run support. There's been a couple pitchers in this replay that have suffered that. It's just random how it works out that way. Bankhead will be facing Hewlett, Karkovice, and Boston. 6-8, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop X. So we are looking at Quinones, 3E31. He's already, that was Guillen that made the error. So 3E31, first chance for Quinones since he came back from injury. 3-18, he'll get to that. E31, and that's a 15. That could be a problem. E31 and a 15 is right there. Let's get it as close as we can get here. E31 and a 15 is right there. So Quinones boots it to start the inning. Maybe he's got a little rust on him. I don't know. Hewlett's on. Here's Karkovice. Again, terrible bunter. Would normally like to bunt here, but don't really want to do that. Not with the. He's hoping to get something off the card to hit. What he's hoping for. 6, and he did. 6-5. That's the in-home run. Look at that. We didn't bunt with Karkovice, and he hits a home run. Are you kidding me? 6-5 is a straight-up in-home run on Scott Bankhead. Karkovice has normal power, and that is his second home run of the season. That's exactly how many he had real world. And he's got his 6th RBI. He had 7 RBIs real world. He's almost done. So his stats are uncanny. So a 2-run home run from Ron Karkovice. And just to think I was going to have him bunt. That's why you don't bunt, folks. At least not early in the game anyway. 2-run home run for Karkovice. Home run number 2, RBIs 5 and 6. And that is an at-bat number 69. And in 85 at-bats overall, he had 2 home runs and 7 runs driven in. So it is now 3-2 White Sox. So it's worth coming in to watch this just so you can see Karkovice hit a 2-run homer. That was worth the price of admission right there, although there's no price for it. Yes, Ernest, Carter is definitely. When the game's over, I can look at his numbers, but he's still woefully inadequate. Here's Boston, 2-5, and that's a ground ball to third. Presley has that. One away. But now Bill Long can't complain. He's getting some offense. He's getting some support now. Here's Gary Reedus. 4-5, and that's a split. And on an 18, that's a line out to short. Quinones will make that play. It was the Quinones error that opened up the door for all of this. Got the inning off to a bad start. Here is Mr. Harold Baines, 6'9", and that's another split, and he's going to line it to second base in the inning. But the Ron Karkovice 2-run home run, and just like that, in a blink of an eye, White Sox lead it 3-2 over Bankhead and company. And now the Mariners have their work cut out for them. Bill Long coming in with the lead now, finally. And he'll be facing the bottom of the order, Ramos, Quinones, and Brantley. 4-5, and that is a fly ball to right. One away. That'll send up Ray Quinones. He's 0 for 1 since returning from injury. 4-4. Ballpark blast. That's a good sign. 1-17. That's a 14. It's gone. Ray Quinones. Ray Quinones right here. 4-4. Ballpark blast. 1-17. That's a 14. He's got normal power, and we got a tie ball game. Ray Quinones comes back from injury, announces his presence with authority, a la Luke LaLoosh or whatever that guy's name was in Bull Durham. That is his 4th home run of the replay. He had 12 real world, RBI number 22, and we are tied at 3 apiece. So Bill Long could not last very long with the lead. And here comes the top of the order and Mickey Brantley. 4-3, and that's a ground ball. Pitcher X. He's an E26. The computer says he's a 3 range. So a 3 E26. 3-15, he will get there. E26 for a pitcher. And that is a 12. E26. There's a 12 right there. Second number on the 26 is a 12. So Long, obviously shaken up by the home run, just boots that one. Gives Mickey Brantley a free base. And now Brantley is going to try for the lead again. Needs a 2 through 5. And he gets it. He's going to go again. And again, it is a 1-10. 50-50 shot. And he got caught stealing again. So he got caught stealing twice this game. That's how you get those caught stealing numbers in the replay. Otherwise, you're never going to get caught stealing to match what he did in real world. Plus, getting into second base with 1 out would be a good strategy if you could pull it off, get that guy in scoring position. All right, here's Phil Bradley now with 2 outs and the base is clear. 3-3 is a ground ball to third base. It would have been a double play either way. So, as it turns out, I guess it didn't really matter. Would have been erased on the double play anyway. But the home run from Ray Quinones has tied this game at 3. As we head to the 6th inning, this is the fatigue inning for Scott Bankhead. Keep an eye on his fatigue. Here's Greg Walker. And it wasn't like I was trying to steal when it's a 1-5 chance. It was a 50-50 shot, so. And you got a chance of also forcing his T rating's a 9. He could have thrown the ball away. All kinds of things could have happened. Here's Walker. 5-4. It's a fly to right field, 1 away. Here's Calderon. Calderon steps to the plate, where he has not done so well. He has struck out both times against Bankhead. 2-9. This time he won't strike out, but he does ground it to third, where the hound dog Presley takes care of business. 2 down. And here's Donnie Hill. 5-7 switch hitter. Ground ball second base X. We're looking at Mr. Ramos, 4E27. 4-19, he'll get there. E27, and that is a 9. Second base, E27. There is no 9 there, so this time Ramos is able to make the play. And Bankhead will keep full endurance into the 7th. So we go to the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Bradley, Phelps, and Presley due up for the Mariners. Two 5, and that's a pop out to first base. Greg Walker is there to get it. 1 away. So even though you have 2 bad teams, sometimes they create close, nice close games. 2-4, and that's going to be a home run, 1-13. That's gone. Ken Phelps just gives the Mariners the lead. He's got a loaded column 2, and on a 2-4, a 1-13 is a home run, and that's a 7. So Ken Phelps has doubled in the game, and now he's homered. And Seattle reclaims the lead 4-3 for Ken Phelps, home run number 13 on the replay. RBI number 35. He had 27 home runs real world with 68 RBI. So home run Ken Phelps. Seattle has reclaimed the lead. And now Long might be going 0-7. We never know. Here's Presley. 5-9, and that is a line out to second base. So this time around, Mr. Donnie Hill will make that catch. 2 down for Alvin Davis. 1-7, and that's a strikeout. Rare strikeout for Mr. Long. That's his first strikeout. Took him 6 innings to get one. But now it's 4-3 at the end of 6 as we head to the top of the 7th at the Dome. Coming back out as Bankhead, he has full endurance by pitching a scoreless 6th. So he has the full endurance. And here is Guillen. 1-7 for Guillen. That's a 1-17 single. So Ozzie Guillen leads off with the base hit. He's going to be looking to run. And that +1 from Bankhead is going to help him out. If he gets the lead, we're looking at a 1-17, so it's almost guaranteed. Needs a 6 or a 7. Doesn't get it. He does not get the lead, so he will hold. And here is Tim Hewlett, and they got to hope Hewlett doesn't hit into a double play here. 1-6, and he certainly did, right on cue. 5-4-3 around the horn double play, ground ball third base A. 5-4-3 around the horn double play. And just like that, the bases are cleared. Still trying to figure out a way to maybe have Dodge or somebody sponsor the around the horn double play, since they're Ram tough and the Rams have the horns, that kind of thing. All right, here's Karkovice. He homered his last time up. 5-3. It's a fly ball left field X. We're looking at Phil Bradley, 2-0-E5. So 13 should be fine for an outfielder. 2-13. 2-13 is an F2, and that's a 13 also. I'm sorry, 13 also, and he is an E5. There's a 14, but no 13. So Bradley is able to make the play to end the inning. And we're going to the 7th inning stretch. Yes, Ben, they are. Yes. But that's basketball, of course. So. And actually, people were, poo-pooing the Atlantic 10 conference. And you know what? The Atlantic 10 is 5-0 in postseason right now. St. Louis laid waste to Georgia. They tore up Georgia more than Sherman did back in the Civil War. They just blew Georgia out. The only reason they got under 20 points is because they put the scrubs in the last 3 or 4 minutes. But they had 100 points, but there was still like 5 minutes to go in the game. So St. Louis winning that, VCU winning their game. In the NIT, Dayton took care of Bradley on the road. Unfortunately, Dayton should have been the home seed, but their home floor was used for the first 4, so they couldn't get a home game. St. Joseph's went out and beat somebody. I think it was, I'm trying to remember who they beat. Colorado State or somebody they went out on the road and beat. So they're doing pretty well, the Atlantic 10 for themselves. The only one that lost was George Mason. They lost to Liberty in the NIT. All right, here is, but I do have a card for him, thanks to the gentleman who sent me these cards. There's a marginal relief guy named Ralph Citarella, and he was just called up to the team. So he's on the roster to 0-0 with a 7.36 ERA and just 11 innings pitching. But he's available. Obviously he's fresh because he hadn't pitched yet. But it's still a close game, so you'd think you wouldn't want to use him for that. You also have right-hander Jim Wynn. We have right-hander Bob James, who's like their closer. And then 2 lefties, Brian Clark and Ray Searage. So they've got those 5 guys to choose from. And looking at the lineup for the Seattle Mariners, is heavily right-handed. So I think they're looking at this guy, Jimmy Wynn. Jimmy Wynn is loosing in the bullpen. Right now, Ramos is batting. Something's going on with my computer here. Oh, I didn't do something right on my computer. Let me fix this real quick. We're going to undo this. For some reason I gave Guillen a double instead of a single. I don't know why that was the case, but we'll put him in there with the single and we'll get the double play, 5-4-3. Just so we're back up to speed. And then Karkovice flew to left. Then we had the leadoff double by Kingery. Now we're set. Ramos is at bat. 5-10. Fly ball center field X. We're looking at Boston. He's a 3-4 for Boston. 3-11. 3-11 is an F2. So Kingery could try to advance on this. That's a 10, and that's an let's see, Boston's only a 4, so there's no 10 there. But on an F2, the runner can try to take third, can try to tag up. Speed plus outfielder's arm. So it was hit to center field. Boston's a -1 arm. Kingery is a 15. It's a 1-14 if you want to try to move him up. That's a 70% chance. I'll take that all day long. And he goes to third base on the throw, or on the fly out, I should say. So that's a big move up, because that's going to force the White Sox to bring the infield in. With the runner at third and 1 out, and Ray Quinones the batter, the infield is in for the White Sox. That's a 1. Bill Long does not have a wild pitch. He's a 0 wild pitch, though. Infield in, trying to choke the runoff. Quinones homered his last time up. 6-9, and he got a 1 for a triple. Anything else would be a double, so it didn't matter what the infield was doing. RBI double for Quinones, so welcome back, Ray Quinones. You have been missed by the Mariners, obviously. Home run and a double now. It's now 5-3, and that's going to be it for Bill Long. He is not long for this game, and he's definitely not long for this game. They will bring in Jimmy Wynn. So Long has a distinction of getting ready to go 0-7. He does go 6 1/3. And Wynn will inherit a runner on second situation with 1 out. So we go to our bullpen and bring in Mr. Jim Wynn and get his numbers on the season and the replay. He was 4-6, 4.79 ERA and 6 saves. On the replays, 2-4, no saves, and a 7.65 ERA. So he has obviously not had a very good replay, but you never know. Can't close the book yet on Mr. Bill Long because he is responsible for the runner at second, but I can fill in the other pertinent data. He's given up 8 hits, 3 runs so far, but he is responsible for this one. 1 walk and no strikeouts. Very strange that he would not have. Well, he had 1 strikeout here, so why is he? It should be a walk and a strikeout. I don't know why it's saying none. Because he walked Brantley and he struck out Alvin Davis. So, all right, so now we're ready to go with Jimmy Wynn facing Mickey Brantley. Runner at second, 1 out. Now a 5-3. Now it's a 5-3 Seattle lead. Actually, computer, these numbers are wrong for Bill Long. He's actually given up 5 runs, potentially given up 6. Let me check these again because something didn't look right. I must have entered something wrong with the computer. Let me do it manually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got it for 8. Yeah, 8 hits were right, according to this. All right, we'll figure it out. .48 for Jimmy Wynn, and that's more trouble. 1-6 is a double. 19 is a single, 2 stars. That'll score the run, and that'll close the book on Bill Long. He's going to give up all 6 runs, and they were all earned. So he's definitely looking to drop to 0-7. Mickey Brantley, now that Jimmy Wynn's there, he's a +1, so that makes him a -1. So Mickey Brantley's been caught twice, but you know what? He's going to go again because he knows this time he can make it if he gets the lead. He does not get the lead, so he can't do it anyway. Here's Phil Bradley. 3-7 for Bradley. Struck him out. 2 down. And that takes us to the other Bradley, Scott Bradley. And as Forrest Gump said in the movie, we are not relations, sir. Speaking of the 2 Bradleys, they are not related. That's a 2. So we got to go to the computer to get the balk or balk chances for Jimmy Wynn in case a balk should be rolled upon. He has a 0 balk, but let's see if it's a pass ball chance or a balk chance. It is a pass ball chance. So Karkovice has a 4 on his pass ball rating. He does not commit the pass ball. Bradley, 5-6, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop X. Ozzie Gant already made 1 error today. 2E21. 2-6, he should get to that. I would assume he would get to that, although he's actually a 3-6 because he's responsible for holding Brantley on because Brantley was being held. So the shortstop with a left-hander up is responsible. He changes to a 3E21. So that could be the difference right there. 3-6 is going to be a base hit because of that pound sign. It's a single, 2 stars because he's responsible for holding. Unbelievable. Am I back? I was getting ready to shut everything down. Are we back? Yeah, we're back. Okay, cool. Glad I came this close to hitting the restart button and powering everything down. So I'm glad we are back now. Okay. So now we're going to the bullpen for Ray Searage, a lefty. Ray Searage will be coming on to try to get out the left-hander, Ken Phelps. Now, I did shut down the Strat computer, so I got to bring that back up because that was part of my process to shut everything down. So let's go back and look at the numbers here on Mr. Searage. Searage on the, well, let's first look at the real world numbers. 2-3 with a 4.20 ERA. Searage on the replay is 1-1 with a 4.12 ERA. This is his 24th appearance. He's pitched 19 2/3 innings, given up 25 hits, 9 walks, and 10 strikeouts. So Ray Searage, and let's see what he's done here against lefties in the replay. Ray Searage against left-handers. Well, left-handers are hitting him pretty hard. Right-handers also hitting him hard. Right-handers are hitting him for a 333 clip, 12 out of 44, but lefties are getting him for a 325 clip, 13 out of 47. So, you play the percentages, but sometimes it doesn't always work out in your favor. Now, looking at Ken Phelps, this is where it might be a little bit of a difference, although not that much. Ken Phelps in the replay is hitting 238 against righties and 231 against lefties, but his power is primarily from the right-hand side. So you play the percentages and hope it works out is all you can do. All right, so runners on the corners, 2 outs. It is a clutch situation for Phelps. He gains a couple of hits here in the clutch on 310 and 312. So Searage to Phelps. 110, and it's a ground ball to first. That will get them out of the inning. But 2 more runs come in for the Mariners. Rather, they leave it 6-3. Mariners are looking to sweep this series, and the White Sox were thinking they were coming to last place Seattle to make up ground on Oakland, and they might just be swept right out of the kingdom. So Bankhead now coming out with a sizable lead of 6-3, and he's going to keep it going. He's still got endurance remaining. Top of the order, Darryl Boston, 2-7. That's a solid single to center, so don't count the White Sox out just yet. Down by 3 runs, they are not going to try to steal. They will hold on Boston because he does have the asterisk, but they won't try to go anywhere, not down by 3 runs. If it was a 1-run game, they'd try it, but not 3 runs. Here's Gary Redus. 4-4, that's a fly ball center field X. We're looking at Brantley, a 3-6. 3 and a 6, that's going to be close. 3 and a 6 in the outfield. That's going to be a base hit. The last number in the hit range, 3 and a 6 is an SI2, and that's a 17. That could be insult to injury here. E6 in center field, but there is no 17. There's an 18 and a 15, but no 17. So it'll just be a base hit. It won't be anything more than that, not errors or anything added on top of it. It's a single 2 stars, so Boston will take third base. Runners are at the corners. Now the Seattle bullpen starting to stir, and let's look and see who they've got available. They have they have 2 lefties in the bullpen. They have Stan Clark and Bill Wilkinson. They also have right-handers Steve Shields, Jerry Reed, and Edwin Nunez. And you have a couple of lefties coming up, so I think they're going to make the move to the bullpen right here. Scott Bankhead will make it 7+, but he won't go any further. And with these 2 lefties coming up, Seattle will go to their bullpen. And let's see who they might want to turn to. It looks like it's going to be, let's see, where did he go here? Left-handed action out of the bullpen. They are looking at Wilkinson. Yeah, Wilkinson on the replay is the righties are hitting 292 off of him, and the lefties are only hitting a $182 off of him. So Bill Wilkinson will be coming on. In the real season, he was 3-4 with 10 saves and an ERA of 3.66. On the replay overall, those were his lefty-righty numbers, but on the replay overall, Wilkinson is 3-1 with a 3.81 ERA and 3 saves. This will be his 22nd appearance. He's pitched 28 1/3 innings, 27 hits, 8 walks, and 29 strikeouts. So Bill Wilkinson is going to come on and try to preserve this one for Mr. Bankhead and try to earn his what would be his 4th save. Remember, he had 10 real world. -1 on the hold and +2, so that makes him a +1 also. So Wilkinson will face the lefties, Baines and Walker, to get this one going. Look and see what Baines is doing against left-handed pitching as well as Walker. See if they're having a bad effect with the lefties in the replay. Harold Baines certainly is. Baines on the replay is hitting .289 against right-handers, only .220 against left-handers in 50 at-bats with no home runs. Where in 97 at-bats, he's hitting .289 against the righties. So lefty on lefty, and Wilkinson trying to hold the fort. That's a 1-7 and struck him out. So Wilkinson certainly did the job there. 1 down, and here's Greg Walker. Walker against the left-handers is only hitting .183. He's hitting .222 against the righties, .183 against the lefties. So again, Wilkinson trying to use that platoon advantage. 4-8, and he struck him out. So Wilkinson certainly came in and did a job so far. 2 quick strikeouts to get 2 quick outs, but now he's got a tough right-hander in Calderon, but you're not taking your guy out here. I mean, he's there for the long haul to try to get the save. Calderon against lefties, though, is hitting .259, which is not as well as against righties. And the replay in the righties is hitting .297. Replay against lefties only .259. It is a clutch situation, and he will lose a hit on 110 and 2-6 in the clutch. That's a 5-5, and that's a strikeout there. Wilkinson comes in and strikes out the side. I think that was a good move by Dick Williams. What do you think? Wilkinson comes in and strikes out the side with the tying run at the plate and nobody out. And now we can close the book on Bankhead. Bankhead's going to go 7+. He's going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. Just 3 runs, and only 2 of them are earned. I don't think he walked 1. He didn't strike out very many. He struck out 4. So 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. But he has a chance to even his record at 4-4. So a missed opportunity by the White Sox for sure. And now Presley is up. You got 2 lefties after Presley, Davis and Kingery, so they'll keep Searage in there. Presley, let's see what he's doing against left-handed pitching in the replay. In the replay, Presley is hitting .218 against lefties, .224 against righties, so he's been miserable both sides of the plate. 4-10, and that's a pop out to third base, so right there to get it is Hewlett, 1 away, and that brings up Alvin Davis. Davis on the replay is hitting .343 against right-handers, only .204 against lefties. So obviously that's a huge difference. 3-8, but this time he draws a walk, so he coaxes a walk somehow out of Searage, and that brings up Kingery. But with the lead, you're not going to pinch hit for Kingery because you like his defense. You're not going to take him out. Kingery on the replay is hitting .262 against righties, only .158 against lefties. That's a 2-5, and that's a line out to short. Ozzie Guillen will snag it, 2 down. And that brings up Ray Quinones. Ramos, not Quinones. My bad, I got him out of order there. Ramos is up, rather. Ramos hitting .333 against the righties, .276 against the lefties. So he's doing well both ways. Doesn't matter. 1-5, and that's a home run, 1-2. That's a 19. That was a 19. I knocked it over. 19 is going to be a double. Could be a RBI double. Let's see here. Double is assumed to go to center. Boston is a -1 arm. Davis doesn't run well. He's an 11, but with not being held makes him a 12. 2 outs makes him a 14. -1's a 13. So 1-13, they will send him. Ramos being less than 13 will not take third base on the throw. So it's a straight shot to the plate. The relay coming in from Ozzie Guillen. to see if they can throw the runner out at the plate. Again, Davis an 11, not being held is a 12. 2 outs makes him a 14. -1's a 13. 1 to 13, he scores. And he's out at the plate. What a relay there. Boston to Guillen to Karkovice, and they block the plate. And Davis is nailed at the plate. It's going to go 8 to 6 to 2, and that will end the inning. So Searage manages to keep him off the scoreboard. He will go an inning and a third, will Searage, and he's going to give up 1 hit and a walk. Nothing else. So we go to the top of the ninth, last chance for the White Sox. Wilkinson back out. We'll see if there's going to be any pinch hitting. Your schedule hitters, Hill, Guillen, and Hewlett. But we're going to look at the bench, and there will be pinch hitting because you got Jerry Royster. He's going to hit for somebody because he hits lefties pretty well. You still got Carlton Fisk over here as well. So we are looking at, let's get to the White Sox stats here. Fisk hitting .274 against lefties. Royster hitting .292 against lefties. So we're going to take out Donnie Hill and use Jerry Royster as a pinch hitter to start. So Royster will pinch hit in the ninth. If it goes to the bottom of the ninth, he can just stay in the game to play second base. So Royster. And then we'll get a pinch hitter for Guillen. He will also leave. And that pinch hitter will be, I believe it'll be, let's see. You use Pudge Fisk to pinch hit for Guillen. So Fisk will pinch hit for Guillen as the White Sox line up back-to-back pinch hitters to start the ninth. It'll be Royster and Fisk due up against Wilkinson. So we look at the numbers on Royster. In the real season, he had .265 with 7 home runs. On the replay, Royster is hitting .271 with 3 homers. And he starts out against Wilkinson to start the top of the ninth. And we're going to have to fix this so we can get everything in view. So let me see. I might need to move some stuff over. Let's move this over here so we can get more of what's need to be seen. And then also, maybe back this up just a hair. Maybe one more time. All right, so here we go. Jerry Royster. Royster is your batter against Wilkinson. 6'9" for Wilkinson, and that is another strikeout. So Wilkinson striking out all 4 he has faced at this point. And now pinch hitter Carlton Fisk stepping to the plate. We'll get Fisk numbers on both the replay and the season. On the season, he hit 23 home runs with a .256 average. On the replay, he's hitting .281, and so far 7 home runs, 23 runs driven in. Carlton Fisk. That's a 4-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. We are looking at Quinones, the 3E31 for Quinones. 3 and a 6. It's iffy, but I think he'll get there because he's not holding anybody on. 3 and a, whoops, bring it up here. 3 and a 6 is a G3, which is good enough. And then we're looking at the error rating of 31. That's an 8. Shortstop 31. There's a 4, 6, 15, 16, 3, 17, and 18, but no 8. So he will make the play on Fisk. 2 down. And that'll bring up Tim Hewlett. And they will go ahead and let Hewlett hit. But they got the secret weapon, Karkovice, on deck. 2-7, and that's a single for Hewlett. He's going to keep the game going. And what do you do? You can't let Karkovice. You have to pinch hit for Karkovice. I'm sorry, Kark. We like you, but you can't leave you out there like that. So they will come in with the best they have on the bench, and that's Ken Williams. So Williams will pinch hit. And if it goes to the bottom half of the ninth, Fisk will stay in the game to catch. Royster will take over at second base rather, and Manrique would take over at short for Guillen. But you got to get there first. So we're going to Ken Williams, and we'll get Ken Williams' numbers on the replay. He's been struggling, only hitting 187 on the replay. So not doing, but he hit 281 real world. So you're trying to go by his real world numbers. He is hitting 219 against lefties, though. Only 163 against righties and 219. So Ken Williams needs to get on because that would bring up the next guy, Boston, but they'd probably pinch hit for him as well. But you could pinch hit for somebody, bring the tying run to the plate. That would be huge. 310 against the lefty for Williams. Oh, look at that. 311 would have been a two-run homer. But 310 is a fly to center, and that's going to end the ball game. Bill Wilkinson earns that save. That's his fourth save of the season. The win goes to Bankhead. The loss goes to Long, who drops to 0-7 on the replay. Bankhead improves to 4-4, evens that record up. Wilkinson, immense in the bullpen, goes 2 innings, gives up 1 hit, no runs, no walks, and strikes out 4. So the final line score in this one, Mariners win it 6-3. There were 2 White Sox errors and 1 Seattle error. For the Mariners, they got 11 hits, and for the White Sox, they managed 8 hits. Player of the game, boy, you can give it to probably Ken Phelps. He had a double here and a home run here, so he's a good candidate. Something to be said for Wilkinson, those 2 innings of shutout ball too. But for the whole game, I think without Phelps, they were not in that position. So, although Quinones looked awful good, 2 for 3, although he did make an error. So you can make your favorite pick there, who you think the player of the game is. So there you have it. Seattle wins it. They sweep the series from the White Sox. So the White Sox came into Seattle thinking they're going to make up ground on Oakland and end up getting swept right out of the building. Seattle wins their 3rd in a row. They go to 29-36. Chicago drops to 29-33 as they fight over who's going to be in the cellar of the American League West. So as we look ahead, like I said, there's only on the 18th, there are only 4 games scheduled because it's a Thursday travel day. So I'm going to take one of these June 17th games and move them over to Monday morning so that we have 5 games for next week. So we've got our choice here. Which one do I want to do? We got Minnesota at Milwaukee, although the pitching matchup is horrible. Mike Smithson against John Henry Johnson. I don't like that pitching matchup. I'm most likely going to do Texas and California. That is Greg Harris and Mike Witt. And California is in second place trying to catch those Oakland A's. So I'm going to play Minnesota and Milwaukee offline. And Monday will be Texas at California to finish off the June 17th date. And then we'll dive right into June the 18th with those 4 games scheduled. They'll play those Tuesday through Friday. So I do appreciate everybody who spent part of your Friday morning with me. Hope you had a great morning. And if you play March Madness or fill out a bracket, hopefully your bracket's not too busted up. I know High Point may have done that to some people, that's for sure. I don't think the VCU game did a whole lot because most people are going to have, even if they had Carolina winning that game, they weren't going to have them beating Illinois the next round anyway. So that's just one loss. When you play those brackets, the problem is when you lose a game and you see that same team, go 3 or 4 more rounds, you start losing the final 4 teams early on. That's where you run into problems. But anyway, that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I know I'm going to enjoy the weekend. I'm going to obviously watch the game tomorrow between VCU and Illinois. I don't think VCU has much of a chance, but you never know. But I just think I think they exhausted all their energy and karma to get by Carolina, and I just don't see them doing that. I just see a flat performance coming up is all I see. I mean, they pretty much got their Super Bowl yesterday, so kind of hard to top that one. Um, so anyway, that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week, rest of your day and weekend. I'm going to try to come back with a Steve Carlton payoff pitch game this weekend if I can, because I really want to finish that replay, but I don't know what it is. Something about payoff pitch just doesn't resonate with me all that much. So I start playing something at payoff pitch, then I get bored with it. So I don't know. I'm going to try to get it back out there, see if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it with OBS. I might just have to do it on paper, and we'll see how it goes. But if I do anything this weekend, that's what I'm going to be trying for, is a Steve Carlton game, because it's good. They got a good matchup against Tom Seaver coming up in the Mets, so would like to get that one done. So hopefully maybe tomorrow I'll do that. Sunday I usually take off anyway, but Saturday, maybe in the morning, late morning, maybe do something with that, maybe possibly. Or maybe I'll just record it and do it tonight. I have no idea. Not sure what's going to happen with that. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great rest of your week, what's left of it, since it is Friday, obviously. And like I said, if anyone wants the Strat-O-Matic fielding charts that I got from ID Jester, send me an email to this address, and I will send you the PDF files. So till next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.